everyone, welcome back. This is Chasing Wisdom and I'm Ashton. And today I'm going to be talking about a book called The Social Leap by Dr. William Von Hippel. Dr. William Von Hippel I heard of when I was listening to the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, and I really liked the way he presented himself and his thinking. Very okay with saying I don't know to a lot of these answers and that we're still learning about a lot of stuff, which I think a lot of scientists are hesitant to do because they like to be perceived as knowing everything, and it's just a human fault that we all have, essentially, in some way, shape, or form. And this book is excellent. Von Hippel is a professor of psychology in Queensland, Australia, I believe. He originally taught at Ohio State University. I think he got his degree at Michigan. But the book is called The Social Leap, and it really, at the beginning of the book, takes us through the journey of how we became humans evolutionarily, like the Homo erectus, the Homo bacillus, things like that, and how social aspects like the social brain hypothesis really influenced our rise to the top. And it talks about, which I thought was very interesting, how agriculture really brought about a lot of changes to our psychology and how we reacted, let's say, to strangers. And we usually react to strangers in one of two ways. We judge outward appearance, or we're polite. And this is where you're starting to see the darker side of our society with the judging of the outward appearances, such as with social media, of course. And then it goes on to talk about the ways that happiness is not being fulfilled and what is happiness, how they measure happiness, and why actually it's important that it's not necessarily fulfilled all the way to the fullest. And they talk about a bunch of charts and reasons why, we're not made to be happy all the time 24/7. There's a reason why, and he goes more in depth about it. There's interesting statistics, if you take the income of people who are the least happy and the most happy, they're about the same compared to people who are moderately happy and they have the most. And the reason for that is they're constantly still trying to get to a further happiness instead of being complacent at their most happiness level, or just at a point where they're super unhappy and they can't really look at the bright side of stuff. Highly recommend this book, especially if you're a beginner in evolution or maybe you just don't know too much about evolution. I'm from the South, and a lot of people down here don't know too much about evolution. A lot of it has to do with religious connotations as well, and I'm not necessarily blaming religion. It's just a lot of people aren't aware of evolution, a lot of the science behind it, and they're not necessarily taught that in schools. A lot of it is schools don't want to touch that subject, and a lot of it is the teachers don't know too much about evolution as well. And this book sheds a lot of light into evolution, and it really will give you a different perspective of thinking and maybe looking at yourself as an individual and the people around you. Anyway, I highly recommend this book. I think it's about 200 and something pages, 200, 300 pages. It's an easy read. I don't know if I'd say it's a must read. I really enjoyed the book because I love evolution. I have plenty of books of evolution behind me. I love it. It's one of my passions. I love reading about it. It's just very interesting to see how we as humans became the top of the food chain. And I'm not a believer. I don't have a religious belief. I'm a non-believer. Not that there's anything wrong if you are a believer, because I still think there's importance to being a believer in some religion. But me personally, I'm a big proponent of evolution, and I shouldn't even say proponent. The science is that evolution is a legit thing. And when we say theory, it doesn't mean that I have a theory that the color purple changes in light. It's actually a scientific theory, which means there's proven evidence for it. It's just that we can't make it a law, and we're still little gaps we're trying to fill. Anyway, though, I hope you check it out. I'll put links to the book and to the podcast below. I just want to thank you again for choosing my channel. I really appreciate it, especially when there's so many channels out there to choose from, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Thank you.